The smartphone world has always been dominated by two giants, Android and iOS, but there's a quiet revolution happening underneath the rise of open source smartphones. These are phones that give you control, privacy, and true ownership over your data. And leading that revolution are three incredible projects: Ubuntu Touch, EOS. Each of these systems represents a different vision of what a free and open mobile future should look like. In this video, let's explore how these operating systems compare, where they stand in 2025, and what the future of open source smartphones might look like. Let's start with Ubuntu Touch, perhaps the most well-known name in this space. Originally developed by Canonical, Ubuntu Touch was once a bold idea to unify your phone and PC into one experience. Even though Canonical dropped the project, the OBports community revived it, and today Ubuntu Touch is better than ever. Powered by the Lemiri interface, it feels fast, fluid, and professional. It's not just about privacy, it's about convergence. You can literally plug your phone into a monitor and have a full Ubuntu desktop running from your pocket. Ubuntu Touch now supports several devices like the Pinefold Pro, Valophone X23, and Vifone 4. It has its own app store, the Open Store, filled with open source alternatives to Android apps. But here's the thing. It's still limited in terms of mainstream app availability. That's why many users combine it with Waydroid, a system that allows Android apps to run inside Ubuntu Touch. It's a clever bridge between open source privacy and real-world usability. Now, let's move to EOS, sometimes called the degoogled Android, unlike Ubuntu Touch, which runs on pure Linux. EOS is Android-based, but with all Google tracking stripped out. It's designed to look and feel like a normal Android phone, but with open source and privacy-first principles baked in. You get familiar Android compatibility, all the apps you need, and access to a privacy-friendly app store. The Foundation, led by Gail Duvall, the creator of Mandrake Linux, has done something special here. They've built an entire ecosystem, a cloud service, mail, calendar, and even backup solutions, all hosted on European privacy standards. In 2025, EOS has matured into one of the most practical open source phone systems available. You can even buy Morena phones, preloaded with EOS, meaning you don't have to flash anything yourself. For users who want privacy without sacrificing convenience, EOS is probably the most balanced choice today. You keep app compatibility, modern performance, and an easy transition from Android, all while staying Google-free. Now, let's talk about the experimental genius of Post. This one is for the true Linux purists, those who believe phones should be as open and customizable as desktop. PCS postmarketOS is built on Alpine Linux, a lightweight distribution known for its security and minimalism. The developer's bold goal? To make a smartphone last 10 years by keeping the software entirely replaceable, modifiable, and free from manufacturer lock-in. With postmarketOS, you can install different desktop environments like Plasma, Mobile, Nomeo, or Foch. You can even access a full terminal and install traditional Linux packages. It's not for everyone. Hardware support is still limited, and the user experience isn't as polished as EOS or Ubuntu Touch. But at SE Pure Innovation, this is the frontier of Linux phones. So how do they compare? Ubuntu Touch focuses on convergence and a polished, unified interface. OS focuses on practicality, privacy, and Android compatibility. postmarketOS focuses on longevity, freedom, and ultimate control. Each represents a unique path toward the same dream, a world where you truly own your smartphone. If you're an average user who just wants to break free from Google while keeping your apps, EOS is your best bet. If you're a Linux enthusiast who wants a full desktop in your pocket, Ubuntu Touch is the way to go. And if you're a tinkerer, developer, or open source idealist, postmarketOS gives you the deepest control possible. The exciting part is that these systems are no longer just niche experiments. In 2025, they're becoming more stable, more supported, and more user-friendly than ever before. The rise of Fairphone, Valophone, and Pinephone has created real hardware for these systems to shine on. Even Google and Apple are being forced to rethink their approach as privacy becomes the new priority for users worldwide. So what's next for open source smartphones? Imagine a future where you buy a phone, and instead of being locked to one OS, you can choose a phone that runs Ubuntu Touch one day, EOS the next, and postmarketOS when you feel a device that belongs to you, not to a corporation. We're not fully there yet, but it's closer than ever. And as long as communities like UBports, Foundation, and postmarketOS developers keep pushing forward, the dream of a truly open smartphone future will continue to grow. The future of smartphones isn't about who has the biggest app store or fastest chip. It's about freedom, privacy, and control. And in that race, open source is already winning one update, one device, and one passionate community at a time.